here really quickly, unannounced, because I have had the third question about the same topic. And so I wanted to just jump on here and address organizing with children. And I'm just going to real quickly give you some kind of basic nuggets that hopefully will help you. The first thing that I want to share is I know that many of you have been home with your children or have been juggling childcare for your children, excuse me, have been juggling childcare with your children in light of COVID-19 school closures, right? So today is May, what is the 27th? Yes, today's May 27th, 2020. And although some schools are finished, some schools are still in session, doing some non-traditional instruction, doing some homeschooling, whatever is happening in your district. I know for a lot of families it's been really stressful, and for some it's been really fun and lovely. So I just want to acknowledge that, because being with your children 24/7, if you are, hi Suzanne, I see you, hello. If you are not accustomed to being with your children 24/7, it is exhausting. I remember I chose to be with my children 24/7 when they were young, and it was still exhausting even though I loved it. But I know some people that's not the best fit for them, or they can't. It's very hard for them to juggle with their other responsibilities. So I just want to acknowledge and send you lots of love and blessings and support, because I know that's not easy. And the questions that I'm getting is, how do you teach your children to organize, or how do you organize your children's rooms for them? And I wanted to kind of approach that a couple of different ways, because sometimes you should organize it for them and sometimes you should not. And it really depends upon where they are developmentally. And there are lots of different approaches to thinking about organizing with children, and some of them are based on where the child is developmentally. And the phases of childhood, you'll hear 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phases. You'll hear it, lots of different thinking on that. But what I like to do is really simplify it into just kind of 3 categories for the sake of organizing. And I just personally call those categories finds, friends, and future. Okay, so finds for the little bitty kids, the kids, like birth to 6, birth to 5, the things they're finding and touching. And when they're babies and toddlers, they're finding it because they're putting it in their mouth to experience it on a sensory level, right? And then as they become toddlers and they're going out and moving a little bit more in the house, and then preschoolers in the outside in the yard, they're finding treasures, right? So the things they're finding need to be organized, right? And that is a really wonderful stage. That is the stage where they are learning by imitation, right? They're learning by being with you and seeing how you're organizing the belongings in the home, the belongings in their space, their belongings, their toys, their diaper bag. They're just observing, and children are sponges, so it's all going in, even if they can't yet communicate to you, that they see how you're treating an object. Are you rushed and harried and throwing it, or are you always putting it back with reverence and in the same place, right? So that finds the thing they're finding. They're also finding out, besides finding the item, they're finding out how you're treating it and how you're feeling about it when you're organizing, right? So you really want to be a model that's worthy of their imitation, right? You want to be setting an example for them even before they're walking, of how we treat things and how we feel and how we allow ourselves to have the grace that it takes to be a parent, which is hard, and then to have all of these accessories that come with children, a lot of things, right? So that age is a really great age. Then as they get a little older, 3, 4, 5, they're ready to help you. They want to help you. They love seeing meaningful work, sweeping and doing the dishes and folding the laundry. If you will allow them to engage, with you in a really joyful way, allow them to engage and see that you like taking care of them, you like taking care of the home, then that gives them the message that it's a happy experience and they want to participate while they're learning these skills. Whether they're learning that dirty laundry goes here, or dirty dishes go here, or clean dishes go here, allow them to be involved with that and give them some opportunity. Maybe they need a stool, maybe they need some of their dishes down low if they're going to help you organize the kitchen, maybe your lowest drawer needs to not be heavy pots and pans, but maybe it needs to be the dishes that they use, or maybe it needs to be the tableware so they can reach it to help set the table. So give them something that they can organize and that they can have some control over, so that they know that they're a valuable part of the family. And just start them young as far as organizing. Keep their space organized, keep your space organized, and let them see that we bring things into the house and we let things go when they no longer serve us, so that we don't have that clutter, right? And we can go more into that another time, right? So that's the fines stage, right? The next stage is they get a little older, maybe like 7 to 11, kind of that general area. A lot of it turns more into friends and feelings, right? Friends and feelings. So they're starting to realize other people feel differently about things than they do, because that earlier age is, naturally more egocentric. And so they're starting to realize that people have other feelings, and they're also starting to increase their circle of people they want to spend time with, their friends, right? And that's really important to know, because if they have an organized home, if you have an organized home and they have an organized room that meets the standards of your home, you're probably more likely to let them have friends over, or to give them the privilege of going out to play with friends because their chores are done, right? So that's important to understand, not only where they are generally as a developmental phase, but where they are as an individual. What's important to them at that stage as they start to show interests and hobbies and activities and different topics. Find out what's important to them, help them develop a way to organize the materials for those activities, but also to organize their time so they have more time for those activities. Because as we know, a well-organized room or office or home gives us more time for the things we want to do. So that is very important in expressing that to your child, versus you have to have it done this way because I want our house to look this way. That's kind of a power down feeling that doesn't always work the older they get, and it might backfire on you when they get even older. So it's more about, let's figure out, yes, we definitely have rules within our family. We definitely have, boundaries. Hi, Christy. We definitely have boundaries within our home, that there will be no dirty dishes in bedrooms, or there will be no beverages in the parlor, or you will not leave your dirty clothes strewn around the common areas. So definitely give those boundaries for your home as a whole, but then listen more deeply when you're thinking about what they want in their bedroom, what's important to them, and then you set up the system, or you set up the supplies, or you set up the frequency of cleaning with those things in mind, because then they have more buy-in and it makes sense to them. And I think you'll be surprised. I've had a number of kids, I work with families a lot in organizing, and I have a number of kids who were like, oh no, I don't want all those stuffed toys, I just didn't know what to do with them. The parent assumed that they wanted to keep every stuffed toy they ever had, and it was overwhelming the parent. But when you talk to the child, they're like, no, I don't want any, or I just want one or two. And especially if you give them the realization that they can donate items, right? If you can GTS your kids, it's another odd thing I came up with, GTS. So G is gather, T is treasure, and S is share. So at that second stage, you can start teaching them to gather everything. Gather all your books, or gather all your shoes, or gather all your toys, or just gather a category, or simply gather, if the room is really disorganized, gather everything into one 3-foot square area to make it manageable. Even though it's in assorted categories, gather it all, and then truly look at it to see what they treasure. What do they really treasure? What do they want to be responsible for putting away every time they get it out? And what do they go, I don't want to keep having to find a home for this. I don't want this anymore. And when you explain to them that they can share it to with a child in need, that often really makes a shift, because children are loving. Children are born loving and wanting to share. They just need to be taught how to, and that they can. And so when you explain all of the different ways that they could share those items with someone in need, or with someone maybe even in the household who has needed 6 more pens, or whatever it may be, sometimes it's the fact that they don't have to take care of it anymore. Mom's not going to nag you to clean this up if you give it away because it's gone. and sometimes it's that they really want to do good deed, and either way is fine, right? So helping them gather, treasure, and then share those items, and be thinking about it at that stage, that like 7 to 11-year-old stage. Excuse me, I'm froggy today. I hope everybody is enjoying the hot weather. I am, but I still like my tea. So the other thing that's important, starts to be important and may become really important at that age, is their friends. And like I said, if you help them put together a room that they'll be proud of when their friends come over, or at least they can find the toys or the games or the nail polish or whatever they want to find in the room, that really will make a difference. And they may act like, oh, I want to be cool and my mom doesn't tell me what to do. They're going to, as they get older, that may come. But the truth is, we all deep down really do want to be proud of our space and proud of our home, and also just proud of ourselves for taking care of things. Plus, it's more fun when you can find the things you want to work on with your friends or play with your friends, right? So that's kind of something in that middle age. And then 12 and older is a totally different, and again, it's approximate, and every child is different, so let them develop the way they're supposed to develop. But when they get a little older, then they start thinking about their future, what they want to be when they grow up. Where do they want to go to middle or high school? Do they want to go to college, vocational, go right into a job? What's important in their future? And that's really a time where kids can get really stressed out. When they start thinking that way, they can get really stressed out, right? So they're like, I have to do schoolwork, and I have to have extracurricular activities, and I need to be on a sports team, and my mom expects me to do this, and we've got church this many times a week, and there's all these activities. Hi, Sister Carolyn, I see ya. So we have all these different activities when we are at that about to be preteen and then teenage years. It can become really stressful, and they're managing a lot. And I'm a big advocate for students and helping them find the plan and the process that works well for their unique brain, skills, interests, and the expectations that they have to manage for themselves, their family, their school. It can be really stressful. I really want to say that this is probably the only time in our lives that we're expected to be good at everything. Make good grades, have some friends, be in an extracurricular activity, start building your college resume when you're 13, keep your room straight, be nice to your little sister, get a part-time job. There's so many things that kids this age are responsible for. So, and they're feeling that pressure, because that's just developmentally, they're starting to think, when do I get out of here, or what do I want to do with my future? They're starting to think that. So organizing the room is even more important, right? But hopefully you've modeled that for them when they were younger, and then you've helped create a system for them when they're in the elementary and young middle school ages, and now they see the benefits. And that's what this older phase of childhood, they need to see what's in it for me, because that's just where they are. And we all need to know what is the cost-benefit analysis here, so that we can prioritize our time, and we can prioritize how much of an investment we're going to make, whether it's investing the time, or whether it's investing a certain amount of space in my closet, or whether it's investing some of my allowance to buy a few organizing containers, because those really do make a difference, right? So we need to understand what that's going to do for me, right? And at that age, they need to understand, well, here's the expectations for you to have friends over, or for you to have screen time, or for you to get the car keys, So what are your expectations? And then what are their expectations? Do they need to have all of their homework done by Saturday at 2 p.m. in order to take the rest of the weekend off? Or do they need to have a completely clear desk in their room or work table somewhere in the house so they can really focus? What is it that they need to feel less stress about their lives, right? That's what we want to do, is we want to decrease everybody's stress so that we can increase their productivity, their peace of mind, their happiness, right? And organizing our spaces goes a long way towards that, right? So I just wanted to hop on here real quickly and share that. I will tell you that I have several videos on, I guess they're linked on my Facebook and on YouTube and pinkyjackson.com, which is my website. And on the About Us page, I have some free handouts and things that will be helpful to you. And also my contact information is on there. So if you want, there's a few things I would offer. The free stuff that's on there, I would be happy to do a consultation for you. If you want a professional team to come in there and either knock it all out for you, or work alongside you to do it, or create a DIY plan to help you give direction and guidance, I'm happy to do that for you. If you want to do a virtual conversation, that's what I like to do with my friends in Texas and other places, we can do that as well. And if you just want to recommend a topic for me to talk about, I've been very grateful that these videos have been helping a lot of people, and so that's what I look for, is when, you know, a number of people suggest the same topic, I try to hop on and do one. And I'm not responding a lot on the Facebook Live because I'm so new at it. This is the second one I've ever done, and I'm like, I want to talk to you, and I don't know how to do all that. So, but I'll get there. So anyway, I hope that helps with child development and organizing. And just remember, GTS, gather, right? Treasure, share. So gather it up, see what you treasure, share the rest. And then also look at where the child is and what's appropriate for them as far as where they are developmentally. And remember, in the whole process of it, is to love yourself, feel the breath, feel the joy that comes with having a beautiful space, and enjoy the process, because that's probably the biggest gift you can give your children, is letting them see that work and organizing and caring for your home and caring for yourself is a happy thing. It doesn't need to be harsh or filled with guilt or shame. It's a wonderful thing, and when you are able to come into it with that attitude and that feeling, it's amazing how much more work you get done. So I hope that's helpful, everybody, and thanks for checking in on this unannounced Facebook Live. And as always, take good care. Bye-bye.